Enough. That word carries more weight than almost any other, because somewhere along the way, someone or something made you question whether you were it. Whether you were smart enough, successful enough, thin enough, strong enough, calm enough, productive enough, loving enough, healed enough, far enough along. And the cruelest part? You believed it. Not all at once. Gradually. In the quiet moments when comparison crept in the rooms where you felt invisible, in the relationships where your effort was never quite returned. So you worked harder, gave more, shrunk yourself into shapes that were easier for others to hold. And still, somehow, it never felt like enough, because the problem was never the amount. The problem was that you were measuring yourself against a standard that was never yours to begin with. Today, that standard ends, not because your life is perfect, not because you have arrived somewhere, but because the truth, the one that has always been true, is that you were enough before anyone told you otherwise. Sit with that. Breathe it in, and speak today as the person who is finally, fully, and without condition, returning to that truth. Read each line as a homecoming, not a goal to reach, but a truth to return to. You are not building toward enough. You are remembering it. I am enough, not when I achieve more, not when I weigh less, not when I am further along. Right now, as I am. I release the version of me that spent years performing adequacy for people who were not paying close enough attention to notice. Enough is not a finish line. It is the ground I am standing on. It has always been the ground I was standing on. I choose to stop auditing myself through the eyes of people who never fully saw me. I am not a work in progress masquerading as a finished product. I am whole at every stage of becoming. I release the habit of listing my flaws before anyone else can find them, as if naming them first makes them hurt less. Not almost enough, not enough on a good day, not enough when everything is going right. Enough. Always. I stop shrinking my needs to avoid being labeled difficult, demanding, or too much. The love I deserve does not require me to earn it through constant proving. It is mine by the simple fact of who I am. I release comparison as a metric. My enough is not measured against anyone else's life, pace, or achievement. I am enough for the opportunities I want. I am enough for the relationships I desire. I am enough for the life I am building. I choose to speak about myself the way I would speak about someone I deeply love, with patience, with grace, with fairness. Every part of me that I have been taught to hide is a part of me that deserves gentleness, not exile. I release the exhausting loop of doing more, being more, producing more, hoping that more will finally feel like enough. Not broken and being fixed, not behind and catching up. Enough. Here, in this moment, in this body, in this life. I stop making myself responsible for other people's discomfort with my fullness. I am allowed to rest without earning it. I am allowed to receive without deserving it by someone else's measure. I release every relationship that required me to be less than I am in order to make the other person feel secure. When my inner voice speaks about me, it speaks the way a devoted friend would, not the way a harsh critic does. I choose self-compassion not as a reward for doing well, but as a baseline I no longer negotiate away. My value is not a variable. It does not increase when I perform and decrease when I rest. It is fixed. It is mine. It is enough. I release the need for external validation to confirm what I already know about myself at my core. I am not too sensitive, too intense, too quiet, or too much. I am precisely who I was made to be. I stop waiting for the day when I will finally feel comfortable in my own skin. That day is a choice. I am making it now. I am enough to be loved without conditions, chosen without competition, and valued without performance. I release every standard that was placed on me by people who were themselves running from their own sense of inadequacy. The most radical thing I can do today is believe, fully, quietly, without needing to prove it, that I am enough. I choose to treat my own presence as something worth making space for, not something that needs to justify its existence. I release the lie that there is a better version of me somewhere ahead that I must reach before I am allowed to be at peace. I am enough. I have always been enough. And the rest of my life will be lived from that truth, not toward it. Lay one hand over your heart. This is not performance. This is a promise from you to you. Speak what you are now calling into your life as someone who has finally stopped standing in their own way. I manifest a relationship with myself so honest and so kind that the voice in my head becomes my greatest ally, not my loudest critic. I manifest the complete and permanent end of the inner audit, the daily inventory of what is wrong, what is missing, what is not yet fixed. I manifest a life built on the foundation of self-acceptance, not self-improvement as a condition of worthiness, but self-acceptance as the starting point. I manifest that every person who enters my life from this point forward meets someone who already knows their value. I manifest freedom from the specific pain of feeling invisible in rooms full of people, of being present and still feeling unseen. I manifest the ability to receive a compliment without deflecting it, a kindness without questioning its motive, love without bracing for it to leave. I manifest a body image so peaceful and so free that I stop spending mental energy on the size and shape of the vessel carrying me through this life. I manifest complete release from every relationship in which I had to perform a lesser version of myself to be accepted. I manifest a life in which enough is not something I am always approaching, but something I am always already standing inside. I manifest the specific peace of waking up and not immediately beginning the mental list of everything I need to fix about myself. I manifest that self-compassion becomes my default, not something I reach for on hard days, but something I live inside every day. I manifest freedom from the version of love that was conditional, that required performance, that left me feeling smaller for having tried. I manifest a community of people who see me clearly, value me genuinely, and never make me prove that I belong. I manifest the courage to take up space, in conversations, in relationships, in rooms, as someone who has stopped apologizing for existing fully. I manifest complete healing from the moments that first made me believe I was not enough, however early, however deep. I manifest a career path shaped by someone who knows their value and charges asks and negotiates accordingly. I manifest that the love I give to myself becomes so consistent and so real that it changes the quality of every relationship around it. I manifest freedom from perfectionism, the exhausting insistence that I must be flawless before I am allowed to be content. I manifest a version of rest that is guilt-free, genuinely restorative, and no longer something I have to earn through depletion first. I manifest that every decision I make from this moment is made by someone who starts from wholeness, not from lack. I manifest the specific relief of no longer needing someone else to confirm what I already know to be true about myself. I manifest complete freedom from comparison, from scrolling, measuring, and quietly deciding that everyone else is further along. I manifest a daily life that reflects the worth I am now claiming. Environments, relationships, and rhythms built for someone who knows they deserve better. I manifest that the years I spent believing I was not enough are transformed, used as fuel, as wisdom, as the exact reason I now help others find their way back to themselves. I manifest a standard of self-talk so elevated and so consistent that the old critical voice has no frequency left to broadcast on. I manifest the ability to make mistakes, fall short and disappoint people, and still return to myself without the old spiral of shame. I manifest a life that feels like mine, shaped by my values, not by my fears, and lived at full volume without apology. I manifest that enough stops being a concept I am working toward and becomes the water I am swimming in. I manifest every good thing that has been waiting for me to believe I deserved it, arriving now in the right form at the right time. I manifest a version of myself so settled, so whole, and so at peace with who I am that the word enough finally feels like the simple, obvious, unshakable truth it always was. If today's session touched something that has been waiting to be touched, subscribe. This practice is for the long game. Come back every day and watch what shifts when you speak to yourself like someone who matters. Like this video. It is a small act that carries this message to someone who may have spent today feeling like they were not enough. You could be the reason they find this. In the comments, type this and mean it. I am enough. I have always been enough. I am done arguing with that. Not as a wish, as a declaration, as the closing of a very long argument you have been having with yourself. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. You already know who they are.